Aloha and welcome in. I am Kapualani and we are here with your timeless collective reading. So let's go ahead and open space with some sound clearing as I chime my tuning fork 3 times. I invite you to connect to your breath, connect to your goals and your intentions, connect to source, your spirit guides and spirit teams. Again, through the inhalation, and as you exhale, exhale through your mouth with a ha or a sigh, releasing anything and everything no longer serving your highest, greatest good, while also giving thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to all whom you've called in to hold space here today. All right, let's begin. Okay, so again, welcome in and thank you for being here. Um, for those who have subscribed, thank you so much for your ongoing support. For those who are new, welcome. There will be a part two to this reading for those who are interested, and I do offer personal sessions, both live and pre recorded, at my website, kapualani.com. So check it out if that's something that speaks to you. But nevertheless, Spirit, what is the message for us today at this moment? What's coming through? What's coming up for the collective at this time? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so Queen of Swords. A few things that I picked up on right away is just sort of a feeling of indifference, but doing your best just to keep things circulating, like air circulating and flowing and not stagnating. Staying on top of things and being open to your options. Keeping an open ear, keeping an open mindset while not just allowing for any old piece of information or conversation to enter into the chat, so to speak. A little bit of self-discipline goes a long way is what I'm hearing with this Queen of Swords energy. So with this Queen of Swords, we've got Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energies. But speak to us about this Queen of Swords. What's coming through for us in our feminine mental energies in terms of assessment, in terms of planning and organizing? I'm getting a lot of assessing to kind of get an idea of what's out there and allow for that, imagination also to guide you. Okay. Five of Swords. Okay. So there could be a little bit of conflict in terms of your a few things. Sorry, guys. I get so many messages all at once. Something may be You may be in a position of having to delegate, having to decide, and in some way, if there is a decision to be made, it's almost like you're having to discern what to say and how to say something so as to not offend. But sometimes the truth is tough to hear at times. Sometimes we don't want to hear the truth, but it's something that is necessary. So that could be something coming up for you. It could be something that you're having to do, or that you are dealing with, maybe a little bit of both. There is also, with this Five of Swords, again, watch how you deal with things. Watch your communications and just do your best to have a little bit of compassion for the listener, the receiver. If you are the receiver, do your best not to take anything personally if someone kind of says something a bit blunt and just kind of like, whoa, wow, was that necessary, that kind of energy. Because part of what I'm getting is there could be something with communications, dealings, whatnot, or even just simply like in your own way how you're assessing something. That could be a bit of a challenge in terms of, again, mentally, the way that you deal with it, the way you go about communicating or self-expressing. You may feel like whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, it's like, with the Five of Swords, sometimes it's, again, is there a better way of saying or doing something, of getting your message across? So speak to us a little bit about these circumstances, Spirit. What is all of this really trying to communicate to us here. What is coming through here? Be mindful not to also get too frustrated and therefore lose your temper and say something that you can't take back. Yeah. Definitely some things with frustrations, mental fixations, and so forth, feeling stuck, blocked, or trapped. And maybe kind of the way that you deal with things, or the way that you feel like you need to deal with things, is kind of being a bit like one upping, or a bit gritty. And again, maybe this is not you who's acting out this way, but maybe you're dealing with that energy. Devil energy is Capricorn. You see that when I said maybe it's not you, maybe this is just energy that you're dealing with. I think that's what I said. So we've got, wow, look at this, the Queen and King of Swords showing up, the Two of Swords, woo, and the Page of Wands. Even when you get a clear picture of what it is that you're dealing with, the kind of personality or just whatever the circumstances are, it's almost saying that you're still going to need to take the higher ground. Um, Planning and being completely clear and sober of mind. It doesn't, whatever that might mean. Looking at things from a very grounded, practical, and clear perspective is going to serve you best at this time. All right. Taking control of your thoughts and communications and how you show up and express is going to be also at the forefront. So you really stepping into that role of, again, self-control, self-empowerment, really detaching from the emotion so that you can get the job done as well, while also maintaining your humanity. You know what I mean? Maintaining that air of lightness and playfulness at the end of the day. There again, there may be, like, maybe you're overloaded with work and you're just like, all right, I'm just going to tackle this. I see you doing well in terms of getting through a heavy workload. I see you also doing well in terms of being able to manage stressful situations, even if whatever it is that you're dealing with, um, you're not able, like with this indecision here, or that pause with the Two of Swords being at an impasse or something. It's kind of like the way to deal with any kind of overly serious or heavy energies is just kind of lighten up. Page of Wands, have fun, play, break things up, break up that kind of, look at all of this air. We get just a spark, you know what I mean? Just a little spark. We don't need to fuel everything up with air. There might be just too much air going on, too much thinking, but also there's a need for critical thinking. There's a need for critically addressing certain situations. Okay. um you or others that you're dealing with may feel defeated. You may feel defeated. There are others who may be feeling defeated. I don't know why, but I'm getting this feeling of someone may be feeling pigeonholed. um but you are going to get through this again by staying in charge, by taking control of the planning and the strategizing, by not wavering in terms of your self discipline, and not just allowing for little things to kind of go by. You're staying on top of things. Okay. um you can handle it. The devil, you can take hold of this, especially with the Queen and King of Swords that we're seeing here. There's this energy of really overcoming, also, again, negative mindset, self talk, self defeatist type of attitude. And again, if you're in a role of responsibility or leadership, or even if it's just out of respect, um, don't let your doubts, fears, or worst case type of thinking get to you. Don't let your fears get the better of you. Okay. Get a handle on it. Be aware of your mind. Be aware of your subconscious energies as well, so that you can address any self sabotage, or even if there's sometimes when you're in a certain mode, and you got a little beep there, when you're in a certain mode, there are times when we don't really see ourselves in how we're treating others, or how we're dealing with others. So you see the strong wrong, the swords, like, whoa, okay, you know what I mean? A little scary. So that's where it's like, all right, we can just put that on pause. Yeah, there may be a need for that to an extent. And when the time shifts, when the time comes, we're going to just put that on pause and focus on like also taking action, allowing for the new cycles and experiences to guide us. All right. You may be very well informed. You may have a plan. You may be strategizing and implementing, but then the inspired action part, okay, that spark of creativity is what's going to help to lift things out of just this place of feeling so possibly even mechanical, or just robotic. You know what I mean? We want to breathe some life into things, put a little bit of fun in it, maybe put on some good music or something just to help lift up the mood. It's again, especially if things start to feel a little bit ridgy or too heady even. Okay, so spirit, a little bit, just keep giving us the guidance here, spirit, give us the guidance. Nine of Swords reversed. We're just really stuck in the mind this week, and I don't feel like this is something that's impossible. Having this Nine of Swords reversed too, um give yourself like an end period for like the self torture, okay? If that's happening, or the self torment, if there are any feelings of guilt, stress, or anxiety, put a timer on it. Okay, put a timer on it, get out of your head, start to get into some kind of lighthearted action to help clear any sort of compressed air. We want to decompress the air right now. There are things maybe dealing with the nervous system, things dealing with the adrenal glands, maybe feeling a little bit overworked, but again, trying to stay on top of things with the mental clarity. There could be some mental exhaustion that's going to be clearing, or that you have an opportunity to clear coming up. Um, don't be your own, again, I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just like, don't be your own worst enemy here. All right. Um, I'm gonna actually shift gears. I know that I like sometimes these can be usually a little bit longer here, but I'm gonna shift gears because I want to explore these deeper layers in part two, and just kind of, what is this sort of manifesting? Where is this heading? This energy? Um, what can we take away from this? I feel like whatever this energy is leading up to or describing, really, it's a lot of just mind over matter. I mean, look at, these are almost all swords. You got Capricorn, one earth and one fire. Like the water that's there is very much in the background. It's there, but it's in the background. So there's something going on here with really like feeling separate or disconnected from your emotions, but maybe unintentionally or unconsciously, subconsciously operating from them. So that's why you're being called to just kind of be aware. I mean, and that could be, it may not be that you even are operating subconsciously to your emotions, but that others around you are, so that you're in this position of identifying it and be like, that's got nothing to do with me. I'm just, you know what I mean? So I feel that this speaks to not taking things personally, moving through things just like detached and getting through things, but you're going to be fine, okay? With the reversed Nine of Swords as well, I feel like that's also okay. We're going to be seeing some relief from sleeplessness, from anxiety, from stress, and so forth as we open up to new possibility potential. It's something that should be relieving of stress. Okay, relieving of any sort of confusion or even distortion. Like for some, I almost even want to say that I'm getting gaslighting kind of vibes. Like, don't gaslight yourself, but my point is, I feel like you're gonna see through it. There could be instances, and this could just be dealing with strangers out on the street. The time of the year, it's super busy and stressful. So that could be a lot of it where you're just like, you know what, I'm too exhausted. I just gotta kind of keep things going here and stay detached from my emotions. Otherwise, I'm just gonna, I don't know. So there's this awareness of right now, maybe you're needing to again separate yourself or just kind of stay on top of things and how you observe and deal with people. I feel something very detached and removed, and in a healthy way, because you want to make sure that obviously we're not kind of being unhealthy, don't want to get too caught up in just, la di da di da, not taking things seriously, nor being too overly rigid, okay, especially when it comes to like now you will need to be self-disciplined and create structure, especially if and when things get busy, because things could get very busy. um but I see you almost being able to do something on autopilot as well. You know what I mean? Especially when it's like after a while, you're like, okay, like that kind of thing. So, okay, okay, okay. For those who are new, I am going to be pulling from the Animal Spirit Guides Oracle, or the Animal Spirit Guides. Yeah. Yeah, the wild unknown. Sorry. I'll read from the book in part two. But if you have actually any other kind of area of insight, like tune into that now and see if the animal spirit guides have a message for you, can answer that for you, provide some validation, clarity, guidance on that for you. And also, again, for those who are new, the part two, it is pay what you can. So it's very like little to no risk. You can pay $1 if that's all you can afford, or if that's all you feel like sacrificing or risking of spending. But I will also be addressing the angels. Sorry about that, real quick, just to give you guys a bit of insight as well. Angel answers, so yes, no questions. Romance angels, so any areas about love or whatnot that you have questions for the angels on, go ahead and we can do that in part two. But let's get back to this again. Animal spirits, animal spirit guides. What do we need to know at this time? What is the guidance for us, especially with all of these swords, this air energy coming up? Knowing what to say and when to say it, so much so being on top of it with communications and decisions. Maybe there's going to be some decisions that you're going to have to make, but part of it is maybe it's not the right time to move forward on something, but just to allow for a little bit more experience or some other kind, something in like another piece of information, insight, communication to come through, to give you the clarity in terms of what direction to go in. And again, we're going to explore that in part two. But animal spirits, thank you at long last. Woo! Look at that. Little intense with crocodile. All right, so crocodile energies. Um, there's something lurking beneath the surface, waiting for the right time, having patience, but very much intention, waiting, intentional waiting. Okay, so the mind is going to be the mental energy of patience and stillness, I'm getting, is really what's going to serve you, especially if and when that monkey mind starts to get to you. The devil is like, you know what I mean, with whatever, whether it's self-sabotage or getting lost in daydreams and fantasies or whatever. It's about taking control and not losing sight of we just got to stay still right now. We got to wait for the answers. If we're not in a position to seek them out, if we have sought out the answers and we've found everything that we can, patiently waiting, like the crocodile that lurks and stalks and waits for its prey and then devours it, pounces, you know what I mean? So there's something here about allowing, but being attentive in terms of how, the waiting and watching aspect of something, waiting before you strike, before you, so that you can see all of what is being revealed. It's kind of like the tip of an iceberg. You see the tip of an iceberg, but you don't know what is beneath the surface. So it's allowing yourself that time and space to, you're not going to walk away from something. We are the queen and the king here sitting on the throne. We see something approaching. We're not just going to make up our minds like, oh, that's what this is, right? um right off the bat, but we're going to be patient. We're going to assess, we're going to gather information and insight, we're going to talk, we're going to communicate, um and we'll see what develops before we go ahead and pounce, or just kind of have a final say on something. Because again, there's something else there, there's something else hidden beneath the surface, something that is waiting. You're guided to have patience, to wait and to watch and to see what the opportunities are that are presenting itself, or what the opportunity could be, or whatever. It's even if it has nothing to do with opportunity, but it has to do with simply revealing the next steps, right? We're just waiting to see what those next steps could potentially be. All right, that's what we have for crocodile energy, or at least those are the messages and insights that I am picking up on right now. But again, when we get to part two, the extension, we're going to pull from the Animal Spirit Guidebook, and we'll read from that a little bit. You can find that on my website, kapualani.com/extensions for the part two. I will also leave a link for that in the description box below, as always, in the comments for you. But otherwise, I will see you in part two. Thank you so, so much for being here. Again, schedule your session with me, kapualani.com, should you feel called to do that. All right. So take care till next time.